Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing and finishing off the narration and character voicing for the Operation Originium Dust side story in Arknights. And as always, at the end of this episode I will obviously talk about the whole story, characters and stuff as is usual, even though some stuff will be a bit different considering we obviously don't have stages here and stuff. And speaking of, considering that in last episodes of a narration I usually include battle stages and stuff like that, obviously I cannot do that here, so we will go just with the story, with one tiny little exception that I can do, however, and that will be just thrown in there in between two certain parts. But for those of you who have been with the channel for a while now, you might already know what I'm gonna be adding in there. But before all of that, to anybody who is new to the channel and bumps into it through this very episode, playlists are in the description of the video if you want to start from the beginning of this narration, and much more on the channel, so I hope you enjoy your stay. Outside of that, thank you very much for the likes and the comments on the previous episode. Always enjoy reading those and respond to those, and they obviously help me out a lot in the algorithm, so thank you very much. Alright, I'm not gonna spend too much time here on the intro or a recap as the usual is. This is a very short side story in general, so we shall go straight into this. So then, let's begin with this second part for Operation Originium Dust. How long has it been, dear sister? 6 months? A year? Longer? Drudge, you attacked the Lord's men and stormed his manor. This is treason. Treason? You have to know, Picale. If it weren't for that rotting old man's obsession with protecting his distressed assets, this wouldn't even be your place. Relax, girl. Check out these toys from an enthusiastic Colombian donor. The cunning Reproba slaps the device behind him. The TSW-2 Ultrasonic Impact Unit, a product of advanced technology. It's experimental, never used in the field before. The only downside is the size. It was real tough to hide in town. Took a while. Took me a while to get you out of the mansion, too. So tell me, my dearest little sister, what good are your sick moves now? What good is that iron will of yours? And check out my friends here, Sarka's friends. They're not your run-of-the-mill brain-dead devils. They're from Colombia, too. They get the job done. You know what that means. It means they're here for progress. Progress you and the old man could never understand. Get your margins high enough and money's more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Whatever happened to the old man's worthless logic? Boss, we found this in a big house. Give it to me. Oh, an appointment letter from the Lord Amir of Baalir. Fine grain papyrus, embossed signature, blocky Baalir writing, and this black seal. Where is the old man? He wasn't there. We searched every room and found plenty of townsfolk, but not the old man you're talking about. Father is dead. I am the Lord of Longspring now. You have disobeyed your lord, and in so doing disobeyed the Lord Amir, and for that your punishment is death. That's the plan you and the old man came up with? This is getting stupid. You really think you can use the Lord Amir to outmaneuver me? Don't make me laugh. You're gonna execute me. The old man's proud Reproba guards are lying headless in an alley somewhere right now. Those tough guards are gone now, and who's left to stop me? You're a psychotic piece of shit. You grew up with them. They treated you like their own son. I didn't think you were this far gone. They shouldn't have gotten in my way. And neither should you. We're blood, so let me make it a little clearer for you, sis. I wanna be sure you understand. Yes, you're a lord of Sargon now, sure. But me, I'm a bum abandoned by my family. And in a few years, when you meet an unfortunate end, I'll go to the court of Baalir. With my pedigree, plus the resources and wealth to prove my loyalty to the Lord Amir, do you think he might just hand Longspring back to me? No. Why don't I give you another scenario? Let's say you die in battle just a short while after taking charge. Then I hand your corpse over to the Lord Amir and get to join the Zayadin. Would that work out better for me? Thrudge, you're a disgusting, horrific disaster of a person. You're getting excited, sis. All that's just hypothetical. It's not real. We're having a brother-sister talk here. Because I know a much better place for you. See these things with the rocks on them? If you're so eager to protect the infected, why not join them? Drudge! Once you die from it, I'll find a nice cave to bury you in. Then you and the old man can watch me dig out the Originium buried under the mines and turn Longspring into the mineral heart of Baalir. So, what do you think? You sold out your family and sold out our land. I curse you, Drudge. May you die a horrible death. Whatever makes you happy, sis. Curse away, use that voice while you still got it. I guess we're done here. Drudge speaking in Colombian. You, come here. What is it, boss? Bring the infected to the egghead. Right, I'm on it. What about this kid? Looks like he's on his way out. Bring him, dead or alive. As for my sister, turn her infected. You Sarkas must know what to do. Roger. But that is in our contract. There'll be an extra fee. Save it. You know there'll be plenty of money to go around once our work here is done and the mine is up and running. What a nice brother you have there. Pikala closes her eyes. And the Sarkas mercenary raises his weapon. We're under attack. Get a shield up. Protect the boss. What? What's happening? Boss, we've got company. I thought you took care of all the guardsmen. I saw it. Caster, get the monsters moving. Wait, I see. It's... Hurry! My shoulder! My shoulder! Don't panic. Where's the enemy? I don't see them. Fall back. They've got crossbows. Get to cover. Cover Drudge. We can't let anything happen to him. I saw. It's a feline. Look out. Retreat. Retreat. You're with Rhode Island. Can you move, Reproba? Thanks. Okay, it's working. This isn't over yet. The old man's toys can only be useful at a time like this. You, take the monsters and finish them off. Roger. There's too many. I can't guarantee your safe escape. This will do. Where are my weapons? What for? It's my fault Drudge turned out like this. I can't face my late father. But I will carve out that traitor's heart and bury it in Longspring if it's the last thing I do. Don't be hasty. There's too many of them. Getting yourself killed won't help the town survive. I've sent out the signal. They should be here in a minute. Boss, those mercenaries on Rhode Island are assaulting us. What are you afraid of? With this mansion tough as iron, I don't believe those mercenaries can cause us any harm. Tell those casters to finish that feline with monsters. Others go defend the entrance. Roger. Report. They have formed a defensive line with the courtyard walls. I suppose there are snipers and hulky mercenaries hiding behind. The same way as usual. A wall like this doesn't even bother me. Let's show him who's the real boss here. No, that's a big hole in the wall. I didn't expect a technology like this. Cover fire. Breaching. Roger. Stop them. Now! Out of my way. Not over yet. Bastards! Where the hell are the snipers? Snipers? There is no more snipers, I'm afraid. Where did you... We've breached the other wall. Nicely done, old man. Don't let your guard down. There are still many of them. Wait, what's the thing they just pushed out? Nets? Get down! The ruthless experimental weapon produced a powerful shockwave with a loud bang resounding throughout the sky. The debris of broken buildings splashed everywhere. Bless my ears! Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What about the others? All fine, but now I feel everywhere hurts. What is this weapon? How come they have stuff like this? An experimental weapon of Wolfert Koczynski. How unexpected. Now we're in trouble. It's about to fire again. Find cover. If it hits you, you'll be doomed for sure. Boss, they've breached the other wall. Don't you see they are being suppressed? What are you worried about? Take care of my sister and that feline first. Then we'll deal with the rest. I'm having the edge. Now it's just a matter of killing a few more. 5. These are your monsters, huh? Drudge, get out and face me! 6. Come on, you ugly and filthy monsters. I'm gonna smash you all into shreds. Calm down, Lady Picale. Save your strength. There's too many of them. No. Lady Picale. Schwartz. Doctor. You have to get out of here. Come, monsters. What are you doing? When you're infected, every sunrise comes with the specter of death. Myarov remembers these words by heart. It hurts so bad. My whole body aches. Where am I? Did I pass out? What is this? You sold out your family, and sold out our land. I curse you, Drudge. May you die a horrible death. Lady Picale? She's on the ground? What happened? My whole body aches. Is my neuropathy flaring up? That's blood? Oh. So I'm about to die. Oh. So cold. Bring the infected to the egghead. Right, I'm on it. What about the kid? Looks like he's on his way out. Bring him, dead or alive. As for my sister, turn her infected. You Sarkas must know what to do. What is he doing to the infected? I can't stand up. Who is that? In the shadow of the mansion's courtyard wall, a long crossbow takes aim. It's Miss Schwartz. Alone. I have to help her. It all comes down to this in the end. You run. What are you doing? Leave me alone. Get out of here. Is that a refined Originium ingot? Why do you... I haven't used arts in so long. Arts that make Originium products explode. That's rare. With arts like these, aren't you a better fit for being a soldier? Why do you want to be a doctor? Okay, whatever. I just think it's kind of a waste though. There's so much I still want to do. I don't want to die yet. A doctor should be saving lives. I have to save. The young infected charges out. My eyes! Ah, my eyes! Get up, hold the line! What happened? What was that? The Originians! They're out of control! How? Where's the ultrasonic emitter? The little twerp fried it! They've completely lost control! What do we do? Urgh! The feline's back. Get the shield up, protect the boss. Drudge! Your life is forfeit! Again with the nagging. I want their heads on a platter now. What is it this time? Target located. At my position. We're getting them out of there. Open fire. Clear. Okay, you're on guard duty. Alexander, see if any of the mercs on the ground are alive. On it. Tina, get your bandages. Take a head count and patch up the wounded. Roger. No playing dead. Wait, please, lower your gun. I'll tell you anything. Good. Tie him up. Sure. Where's the doctor? Dr. Miarov? Over here. The infected boy lays on the ground, blood oozing out of his many wounds with each cough. His exposed skin is covered with fine Originium crystals, a direct result of facing down the Originium explosion at such close range. No shockwaves, no intense gust of crushing wind, but the Originium curse has grown stronger from the stimulation and penetrated deeper into his body. Tina, bandages, hurry! Stay with me. Don't close your eyes, boy. Why? What happened? When you push yourself to use Originium arts, it worsens your Originium infection. Rhode Island doesn't have a countermeasure. Isn't this what you people do? Between the blood loss, burns, and acute oropathy symptoms, even if we were back on the land ship. I said stay with me, kid. You can do this. Remember how you wanted to travel the world? Picture that Columbia you were dreaming about. Stay with me! Doctor. He's gone. I'm sorry. I couldn't... No, it's not your fault. No, I had nothing to do with that. It wasn't me. I'm going to twist your head off. Just don't. You're done for. You're toasted. No, don't hurt me. It was me. No! Alexander, stop. Calm down. Where did that guard captain go? The Lord's daughter? She chased someone trying to get away. Rangers went with her. Don't worry. Wait, the crystals on the doctor's skin are glowing? Huh? So soon? How? We've got bigger problems. Find an empty room. What are you doing? No time to explain. Move. We need cloth, curtains, bedspreads, anything. Get the doctor into that little house. Hurry. What's happening? What's wrong with the doctor? Why? Miss Cohen, please calm down. Franca's dealing with the doctor's... Dealing? Dealing with what? You've never seen it before. I'll explain it to you later. Cover the doors and all the windows. No cracks. The chimney. Block it. And the vents. What are they doing? I'm not sure. What's wrong with the doctor's corpse? Don't look. Why? Don't look! We're good here. Doors and windows good. Ready. Hey, is that room lighting up? The window's glowing. Miss Cohen, get back. Don't watch. What on earth is going on? The doctor... Oh. In the dark of the house, glittering dust crumbles from the departed's wounds and spreads throughout the enclosed space. Before long, rays of light pierce the darkness. Brilliant, dazzling, prismatic light. Originium dust floats in the air among the lights, then slowly settles. An infected returns to the earth that birthed him. An elderly infected in Sargonian. He went home and left the world behind. Our hearts ache because fate is ever unjust. But we need not grieve because he is now free from the suffering of existence. We sing for him and he has at last returned to the earth. His relatives, his loved ones, need not shed tears. Death is a mercy of our world, and we are the heirs to all things. May it all turn to dust. May it all return to the wild, to which we too will one day return. A roughly polished stone monument, adorned with a few lines carved into its uneven surface, stands in the shadow of a dead tree. Here lies our dear friend Miarov. He was infected. He was a doctor. He was a good man. Are you okay?
Hard to say.
I heard the old lizard man say that only important people get funerals in this country. Most ordinary folks just die when they die, and their families bury them in the wastes. No tombstones, no mourning. The people who live on the huge platforms, the moving cities, have to cremate the dead and bury the ashes under those major roads, since space is so precious in the city. Cemeteries are rare in an ordinary settlement, where a disaster can come through and wipe out any memory of where the dead are buried. There is basically no religion in Sargon. Most people here don't believe in an afterlife. They think the dead return to the earth and become part of it. Looking at it like that, it's a pretty honest and practical culture. I like it.
So Miarov's grave will be lost someday?
Probably, but we held a funeral for him, and that was important.
I can't really accept that.
Why?
After seeing what I saw, it's hard to accept how he went. We probably bear some responsibility, Alexander. If it weren't for Miarov, we wouldn't have had a much rougher time here. I've been thinking, what if we'd moved a little faster, if we were tougher, if we really decided to do something for those sick people? If we...
I don't think it's a good idea to get caught up in thoughts like that. Miarov made his own choices. This isn't your fault. The big girl was trying to fulfill her duty. As an aristocrat growing up in this culture, in this system, her willingness to shelter the sick was definitely a noble act. Judging by how the Rhode Islanders talk, Miarov was very, very sick. For him, death was something that hung over him every day. It's a miracle he lasted as long as he did, in his condition. That's how they live, and that's not much we can do about it.
But did we really do the right thing? We were so sure that if we reached out to help them, we would actually be helping them. And I have no idea why. We lived with those sick people, but we didn't know anything about the infected. We thought of that oripathy like a slightly infectious cancer, the deadly incurable disease we already knew. But this isn't a disease, really. It's a disaster. We don't know anything about it, and we still try to save them.
You can't blame yourself for nothing, Cohen. It's pointless. I understand what you're feeling. But you can't deny what we did. Remember when I was up on that roof with nothing to do? I had all the time on my hands. I sat there watching Miarov's clinic, watching the people who lived there. As a visitor from another world, I witnessed this one. I'm not a sharp person, but even I could see the many terrible, cruel things. One night, one of the townsfolk was carrying a package from another's house under the cover of darkness. It was a burlap-wrapped parcel, about as tall as a man. I watched them load the package into a handcart and make their way along the edge of town to the rocky desert, disappearing behind the boulders on the south side. I saw it happen just like that several times, maybe twice in the past 3 weeks, and it must have happened in the other places too, where I couldn't see.
You never mentioned this before.
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't have a reason to. You're right, we're outsiders. We're not from this country. We're not even from this world. We can't understand the people here, their history, their culture, their lives, their feelings. We couldn't hope to know. And I have no right to point my finger at something I don't understand. There is a reason they do what they do. That's how it should be. But then one night, my curiosity got the better of me. I followed the path to the boulder where they buried the sack. I saw the light shimmering beneath the sand. I saw the dust rising up from the rocks and dissipating into the air. That dust is so bright in the dark of the night. I knew, of course, what was in the sack. I could probably guess what the dust was. And naturally, we all know exactly what it is now. There was an old woman who sat by the door of the house where the sack came from. After that night, I never saw her again. Kurt spent every day with the townsfolk. He must have known about it too.
What was the excuse you made up before? Everyone looks like they've had chemical warfare training. They know how to cover their nose and mouths. What a lame explanation.
Because I'd seen the reason. You just asked me if we really did the right thing. The answer is simple. We helped them. Because that's what our morals, our conscience, told us to do. Aging, illness, and death are inevitable. In this world and ours. Even if there wasn't this horipathy, the people wouldn't suffer any less. Even without the disease, they'd have war, taxation, and natural disasters crushing the poor. See their lord and this town, what kind of society do they live in? Such feudalism would be far behind the times in the history of the earth we know, but it's the reality for them. By our standards, they're not living in a civilized world. I've seen enough over the years, Cohen. You know what I mean. This world sucks, but there's still something we can do about it. Don't turn your back on our good work. Morality and conscience aren't wrong.
You're right, Alexander. Forget I said anything. I'm just too tired.
It's been too long since you got a good night's sleep. We're all tired. Someone's coming.
Sorry. I don't know what to say. This is all on me. Because I was stupid and impulsive.
The tall Reproba holds a golden seal. She grips it tightly, infusing it with her own conviction. The seal melts and falls from her hand, spilling onto the roughly polished stone tablet.
Originium arts. That was a medal of honor given to my father by the Lord Amir. He was one of the Amir's strongest warriors, and the town of Long Spring was our reward for his service. My father was strong, kind, just. He always was, ever since I was small. The Tula family was built on the blood and bones of miners. For years, my father grew wealthy digging Originium out of the ground. But with it came the spread of horipathy. It was just the miners at first, but it eventually spread through the town. When the Originium closer to the surface was all mined out, my father closed the quarry. He wouldn't let anyone dig any deeper. He created the infected quarter and sent men to protect the people living there. He couldn't just sit on the pile of infected corpses and count his gold. He always hoped my brother Drudge and I could do better. I don't know what happened to Drudge while he was studying in Columbia. I just saw him turn more and more evil. It wasn't until my father kicked him out of the house that I realized the man was no longer my brother. But I disappointed father too. I'm not a worthy successor of his achievements or his legacy. I'm unworthy. I did nothing. I couldn't protect Longspring. I couldn't protect my father's people. I couldn't even kill Drudge. I let him get away.
Drudge's supporters. What kind of people are they?
I don't know them well. All I know is that they are from a Colombian organization called Volvort Kuczynski. It wasn't the first time I dealt with those Colombians. They're wicked and greedy. All they care about is how to dig more rocks out from Undertown. They don't give a thought to the people living in it.
Sounds familiar.
My father used to say that if I just became a warrior, I could protect my home with strength alone. A warrior can defeat another warrior, but violence isn't a solution to true evil. I never understood what he was referring to with true evil. I always thought Drudge had turned evil. But now I know Drudge was just a tiny little sliver of evil, and it was still enough to beat me.
There are times when a fight to the death can't solve the problem. What are you going to do next?
I don't know. Drudge ran off and his mercenaries fell apart. But he left behind those monsters. Longspring isn't really habitable anymore. For the time being, at least, I have to protect my home. That's where the town's survivors are.
How many people can your home house?
There's a shelter in the basement of the manor. It can hold a lot of people, but we don't have enough food and water. Sorry, I shouldn't be complaining to you about these things. I actually came to thank you for protecting the people of Longspring through all this. No thanks necessary. I have something I must do. Excuse me.
She's a good person. It's hard to believe that evil shithead is her brother.
Here you are, Miss Cohen. Did I come at a bad time? Oh, no. We were just about to leave. The infected gave this to me. It's Dr. Miarov's estate in the box. After talking it over with the infected, they decided it would be best to give them to you.
Open it.
Is that proper?
Of course. He was her friend. What's inside?
A map and a book. It's a Sargonian version of the Traveler's Guide to Urban Colombia. As for the map, it looks kind of old. Let's see here. Oh, this area should be Caronte. It's a Colombian border city. I've been there before.
And is this stack here money?
Colombian gold certificates. Dr. Miaro actually had some savings. I remember he said he would leave here someday and go to a place called Colombia.
To become a real doctor.
Short as his time was, he still had a plan for his life. Hold on, there's a note here. Let me see. What does it say? Should I read it? Go ahead. If you're reading this note, thank you for helping me deal with this stuff. Give the money to someone. I definitely don't need it anymore. Don't lose the box. It was my mother's. Although I don't know who you are, my friend, I still hope your life turns out okay. Miarov. I don't know how to express myself here. What can I do or say in the face of this legacy? Dr. Miarov was a strong man. Dreams are a luxury for the infected. They're like precious fragile gemstones. Even in Colombia, the infected are zoned to certain areas of the city. Most people live their whole lives struggling to get out of them. The vast majority of the time, contracting orypophy is a death sentence, if a deferred one. Reality forces you to give up on your dreams, your lifestyles, and ultimately life itself. It's hard for anyone to be hopeful about life in the face of cruel reality. What on earth was supporting him?
Someone like Miyarov should not have lived like this. He shouldn't have died like this.
Wait, where are you going?
To find the big girl.
Why?
I want to talk to her. I have a plan.
Wretched thing.
Boss, what are we gonna do? I think we better fall back.
Fall back? We haven't lost yet. We already wiped out the guardsmen. We just need to wait for the right time to counterattack. A couple Rhode Island mercs are no big deal.
Where's my egghead? Where's anybody? What's that smell? What happened to the guys we had watching him? Looks like you're in a tough spot, my friend. Let me guess, even with my mighty Originium creations, you still failed. To be honest, I'm not the least bit surprised.
I don't have time for your sarcasm.
Well, knowing what I know of you, you're here to ask me for new toys. No wonder your father doesn't like you.
Enough bullshit. I need...
Are you talking to me, sir? Because I think you forgot the magic word.
What?
You were asking for my help. Was that the proper attitude?
Are you screwing with me?
Do I look like I'm joking? Oh, this old geezer needs a beating. What is this? What is this? My head's gonna explode.
You, what have you done?
Your apes really have nothing of value beyond your brute strength. And you, sir, do you really think you can keep science locked up in here with this bunch of mentally deficient clods? Go and tell our grand old sponsor to settle down.
What the hell are those?
You can't tell. They're your men. Of course, they've become much more now. Much more obedient. And soon you'll be just like them.
Why can you control them? You know no Originium arts.
Originium arts can control them. You people are so blinkered. Have you ever thought about why Originium arts can control those infected creatures? Of course, you with your tiny brain can never figure it out.
The mad scientist rolls up a sleeve. A swollen Originium lump is twitching under his arm. As if it were alive, having its own mind.
As long as you become a part of them, naturally you can communicate with them. We are having a good time together.
You're such a hopeless lunatic. I'm a member of the House of Tula. I'm the successor of the elder bloodline of the Tula family. It's a death sentence to murder a noble on land that belongs to the Lord Amir of Bailir.
Lord Amir? Noble? Bloodline? You amuse me, Mr. Drudge. But I'm tired of this joke. I do not hate the pig, I only hate the golden crown that hangs above. In my homeland, the cardinals were burned. Kings were hanged, emperors beheaded, every vestige of the old order smashed to pieces to ensure none would ever again fear the so-called nobility. What Lord Amir? What bloodline? You're nothing to me. This stinking sack of meat that is your body is even less useful than those of the oripathy sufferers. What do you call them again? Oh yes, the infected. The infected have contributed to my experiments, but what have you done? Your status has no value to me, and your lack of foresight is baffling. Useless trash. Such a vile, stupid, evil thing still calls itself noble? Tell me what part of you is noble? Anyway, you have nothing to worry about. I have no interest in your rotten worldview. I'm a scientist. I pursue only objective truth. What do you want? Science treats all people equally. It won't change a bit because of your background. Nobles and commoners are the same. On the operating table, the scalpel cuts skin just as well. Your contribution is identical. Considering you specifically, once you donate your body to science, you will no doubt be slightly more noble than you are now. You should feel honored. You despicable traitor. Traitor? Traitor? You raise your hand against your very own sister? You betray your flesh and blood? You colluded with foreign mercenaries to plunder your father's wealth? You betray the country that birthed you and raised you? And you still have the gall to call me traitor? You won't get away. You have no idea what the forces behind me are doing. They're the ones who came up with all your research funding for the last 6 months. If you betray me now, you're betraying them too. The people of Wolford Koczynski will hunt you to the ends of the world. They will kill you. There's nowhere you can run. That I will handle. Don't you worry. Goodbye, imbecile. What's with the getup? I found it in the Lord's storehouse. It looks good. Yeah, it sure does. This is the craziest battle plan I've ever heard. Very convincing. How do you know an Originium explosion will draw the monsters out of the ground? All I can say is, thanks to the doctor. The monsters have been obeying the casters all this time, except that one night, I realized those wild monsters were actually chasing the scattered Originium shards. So you decided this is the way to go? It's kind of a gamble, actually. Where did you get this Originium engine? Well, some things happened, and I guess we ended up with a car. It looks awfully familiar. Isn't it the one we lost? Let's not worry about that now. What about the mine? That mercenary we caught basically gave out everything. The factory your brother used to produce monsters is located deep inside the mine. I even think he probably hasn't given up yet. Ah, that makes sense. If we bait the monsters out here, Cohen will have a chance to bring her people down there and blow the shithead thing up. Just as simple as that. Doesn't sound simple though. This plan seems to be full of the unexpected and far from seamless. But I like this kind of plan, where battling is the only solution. If even Ranger says so. Alright friends, take your places. If all goes according to plan, firing up the Originium engine will get a whole bunch of monsters coming at us. And we're in for a tough fight. And thank you, Rhode Islanders, for choosing to stay and help. Don't worry about it. It's my job to clear out contaminated wildlife. Is that unpaid work? You're so annoying. Thank you. I don't know how to express my gratitude. Let's save the thanks for later. Alright. There are no further questions. The Originium engine chugs out a steady sound, with thick smoke rising up and flames lighting up the sky.
Here they come. Too many? How many? Over 100?
No, probably more. No, there are even more coming. We can only hope Cohen is doing okay.
Away with you! This is endless.
How many of these things did they make? Lescarm, look out behind you.
Watch out! Franca! What are you doing? Give me a hand, Miss Lord. Miss
Lord, yeah. Right. For a second I was like, wait, no, wait, wrong person? No, okay.
Oh, okay. You, run! Don't speak. My leg, you... Just leave me. Cut the bullshit. Piggyback, quick. They're coming back.
Now, get out of here. Over here.
Mr. Ockfen, what are you doing here?
How could I just wait around down there? I'm a Rhode Island operator too.
Damn straight, you really saved us.
Get ready to blow the engine. 3, 2, 1. What's the situation? They've been pushed back for now, but they'll come for us again before long.
There seems to be less of them. I'm all out of welcome mats. Ammo's gone too. What's the plan, Alexander?
Get to the shelter.
What?
Get to the shelter. Take the Rhode Island operator and get to the shelter.
What about you?
I'll cover you.
Cover? And who's covering you?
I don't need cover.
Hey, get it together. Alexander!
I'm all together. I'm tired of all the hiding and running. Running can't win you the war. History's shown.
But this isn't a war.
It is to me. When they pull weapons on the infected and try to kill my friends, it's a war. I've been through plenty of wars in my time. If I can kill even one more monster here, it'll give the townsfolk a better shot at survival. I'll make my stand here until I run out of ammo, until the very end. The battle's not over. How could I retreat?
You're the one who says not to play a hero.
I don't think I'm playing hero, Tina. I'm just doing the right thing. No matter what happens, the show ends here, today.
Alexander!
I'm staying too.
But why?
It was always going to turn out like this. We all knew it from the moment you decided to stay and fight. I'll stay behind and help the warrior hold them back, and if things go bad, I'll cover his retreat.
Mr. Rangers. Alexander, take this.
What's this?
An Originium bomb I tried my hand at making. There are only 2 left.
Thanks.
Stay alive.
No promises. You didn't tell her the truth. You're not going to run. You didn't have to go blowing this old man's scheme. You need someone to hold these monsters back. The aged ranger takes out a blade. This is the old lord's blade. I borrowed it. This is a fine blade. The old lord had good taste. Beautifully decorated steel and a hand-laying turkey handle that's as nice as any modern industrially manufactured weapon. It's a lot safer to stand in the back with a bow and arrow than fighting on the front line. The old Summer Ranger dances with his long, curved blade. I'm so much older and slower than I was. But the blade, she's as sharp as ever. I still don't know your name, warrior. Alexander Sinaviev. You can call me Alexander. I should tell you my name too. But the sands buried my name the day we stained the valley red with blood, along with the past. It's fine. You decided to stay and fight. That's what matters. Rangers. They told me I died. They were wrong. I was reborn. No matter how many of those monsters there are, let them come.
Ranger's map stops here. It's all up to us now. Who knew this cave would be so big? It's like the ground beneath the town is completely hollow. Are the explosives okay? We've got the strongest batch from the safe house here. I hope Lord's plans work. I'm afraid it won't be that simple. Look there. I hope it's not what I think it is. That's a person. Whatever it is, it's going to die and that's enough. I won't be surprised that whatever... profanity. I love... yeah, right. I love that even the German profanities are... What could be a German profanity to squeeze in there? I never thought about this actually. Ah, whatever. It won't be... I won't be surprised at whatever is showing up now. Keep moving. Don't get caught up in a fight with them. We don't have time to waste in here. Understood. Oh, how the times will change later throughout the game. When they almost stop completely censoring everything. Why would Longspring have a facility like this underneath it? Cohen, where are we? I knew it. I knew it. So this is where most of the lab ended up. Now that I think about it, we were too careless. We lived in this town for so long and we had no idea at all. It's that psycho behind all this. What's that smell? What else could it be? That's the smell of death. Stay frosty and close. What are these? Cages? So many. All corpses, people and beasts together. This is the work of Lev Klitschko. A man both mad and cruel beyond imagination. I never should have tried to take him alive. He should have a bullet in his head. Your typical madman wouldn't do something this awful. Wait. There's someone alive in that cage. Look who's here. It's that Drudge character. I'd recognize that asshole anywhere. Oh, it's you, the mercenaries. I'm so glad to see you. I know we've had our differences in the past, but let's set them aside for now. I have a feeling you're looking for that scientist, and I know where he is. We've got a common enemy, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So brazen, I'm sick to my stomach. That feline over there, I know you. Your skills are pretty easily recognizable, and one can hear a lot in the mercenary market in Colombia. You are a killer, aren't you? Rhode Island hired you, meaning even they have quite some dirty work to do. Compared to others, you must know better how to weigh up the pros and cons. Let's have a talk, shall we? Shut up, or I can help you with that. Shame, I thought people like you would be more realistic. Open the cage. What? Don't worry about it. Just open the cage. Got it. Good call. We all know the score. Yeah, I sure do. Hold on, what are you doing? Hey, you crazy! You help me, please! Please! Please, stop. I can still talk. Guess I'm not done. And this one's for Dr. Miarov. Okay, he's had enough. You went a little overboard there. What? You feel bad for him? Man, you almost killed him. Totally rearranged his face. Save your strength. We still got work to do. You're right. What happened? Nothing, I'm just a lot more relaxed. You know what? Me too. If he is locked up in here, he must be part of Lev's plan. I'm not surprised. I don't see anyone here. Might be an ambush ahead. Keep cautious. Well. Look who it is. More visitors to my laboratory. It's been a while, my friends from Team Rainbow. A gigantic experimental area, a corner previously kept dark, is bathed in light. At the same time, the visitors all realize why they didn't notice the air when they came in. The elderly scholar stands behind a thick glass wall, and in front of a huge cultivator. Lev has a grotesque smile on his face, both chilling and unnatural. A moment later, the cultivator itself lights up and reveals a spherical crystal wrapped in connective tissue, floating, writhing, twitching. You're just in time. No, you always come at precisely the right time. Don't bother, it's bulletproof glass. I applaud your decisiveness, squeezing the trigger without hesitation. Don't even wait for an end to our little prologue here. But we have a show to put on. A great opening requires a great audience and a complete opening dialogue. Today is a day of praise for the great work of the creator, and that creator is none other than yours, truly. Creator? That's quite a title you've given yourself. You're an asshole, Psycho. Psycho? The mediocre always use this word to describe ideas and concepts they cannot understand. Behold this world! Completely different chemistry, totally inverted laws of physics. The flow of science blooms in exploration and doubt, and the most fertile soil lies in the land of the unknown.
And now I have succeeded. Do you see? Can you feel? The surface appearance is similar, but it all functions on radically different principles. This is the evolution of life. This is the iteration of existence. Originium is the truth of this world. You should accept that. Don't fear it. Welcome to the future.
Don't you have even the slightest moral compunction over what you're doing? What does human life even mean to you?
Human nature is weak. Good and evil are subjective definitions of weakness, and what we call guilt is but one of the myriad cognitive signals produced by the brain. And the science I pursue is never swayed by such flimsy concepts. Don't delude yourself that even in this world you still bind your minds with these meaningless ideas. Even electronic information technology and nuclear energy were originally designed to help us kill each other more effectively. But you add a new layer of definition to science? Force anything to fit your fragile spiritual needs? Nonsense. But I forgive you. You don't have to understand. I'll allow you to go on unknowing. Primitive thinking is a common form of ignorance. It's not your fault, and I forgive you. That's the end of my speech. And in addition to my forgiveness, I also offer you my thanks for waiting so patiently. Now it is time for praise. Give your praise to this entirely new life form. Praise be, praise be, praise be! Blood splatters everywhere. Glossy, inorganic compounds break through the cultivator. Writhing, deforming limbs support a massive, unwieldly spherical head at an uncanny angle, and sharp, reddish spines pierce straight through the scientist's skull. It presses, reforms, and fuses together.
No matter what, we absolutely can't let the thing make it to the surface.
You stall it. I'll get the bomb ready. Alright, time for the quick little detour that we usually do if there would be a battle stage. The boss description. Essence of evolution. A madman who should not have stepped upon this world. An oddity that should not have existed in the other world. The union of the two gave birth to this node of evolution that far surpasses the limits of biology. Its existence naturally contradicts all of Terra. It should not live. It must not live. Alright, and now back to the usual. Huge spherical creatures crumble and disintegrate into scattered, writhing masses of living organisms that refuse to die. It's still moving. Bomb deployed. Time to go. It looks like it's budding? What on earth is it? Whatever it is, it doesn't belong in this world. We have to evacuate. We need to get out before the bomb goes off. This way. I'm out of ammo. Rangers? I'm still here. You don't look so good. I'm old, so old. What happened to your hand? I couldn't dodge, that's all. What do we do now? Should we go to the shelter? No news from the mine? None. I never thought we'd hold out this long, but we're almost to the end of the road. What are you doing? Making a shield. I always wanted to try, actually. What a trip down memory lane. Back to the glorious good old days. The young rangers all gathered at the edge of town, knowing the overwhelming odds stacked against them, knowing most would spill their blood in the wasteland after the war. But they laughed and sang war songs as if they were facing down bugs to be easily squashed. War is cruel and merciless. Some backed down, many more held the line. The fallen became legend, the survivors were tasked with remembering them. And the last one standing in the bloodbath after all that time started to feel the fear of death set in. Because he doesn't want the dead to be forgotten. Maybe that's why. It's been an honor to fight alongside you, Alexander. The honor is mine, Rangers. But don't be so gloomy. I haven't given up the fight. I'll smash a few to death. Wait, what's that? Arrow. Arrows fall like rain on the ground in front of the manor, piercing Originium's skulls and throats with precision. The black downpour continues uninterrupted, like a storm sweeping across the land. The cavalry's here. We're saved. This technique must be that young person. I picked up a Rhode Island distress signal and figured it was a normal rescue mission. I didn't think I'd run into you. Old Ranger. You're back in business, huh? At my age, you're making fun. What about your sword, Ranger? I'm too old. I haven't been able to swing it for years. If it weren't for you, today would be the end of these old bones. You sell yourself short, old Ranger. Listen up, squad. The objective is the Lord's Manor. The enemy is an extremely dangerous form of Originium organism. Keep your location updated. Be careful. There's many of them. Try not to let your folks fight alone. Also, be mindful of the ground. They are good at drilling. Understood. It's an honor to fight beside you. Scimitar of the Blood Valley. Half a month later.
Thank you for all you've done, Cohen, Kutz, Tina, Alexander. On behalf of the town of Longspring. Sorry, I'm not so good with this kind of formal language. Thanks to you, I survived the conflict with my brother, and my people were able to return to live on their land. Thank you. We were only doing what had to be done. We started this, so it's our responsibility to end it. If it weren't for my irredeemable brother, none of this would have happened. I would have liked to offer you a reward, but as you can see, the town has been destroyed. Anything we have left, I want to use to rebuild Longspring. A cash reward is beyond my power to give you. But anything you may want from this home is yours to take. I think we will have to tear it all down and build a new Longspring with the survivors. About that, Alexander?
This helm fits well. Can I keep it?
Uh-huh. Really, the nail tips are so blindingly bright. I like to put one on my shield so I don't need batteries anymore. That's enough for us. We're satisfied. That's all. My weapons, my father's heirlooms, you can't... No thanks. You need them more than we do. Thank you. Let's go. We should leave now. Mr. Kutz, you're finally done.
Did you say goodbye to the Lord? Then it's time for us to go. My team look over your return to Rhode Island. Thank you. Miss Cohen, your squad is coming with us, right?
Right, we've been fighting too long. We need a place to rest and resupply. And most importantly, we probably need some identities. Identities we can go around the world with. Around Terra.
Sure. The car's ready. We're off.
Your information has been registered with Rhode Island. You may stay and resupply at Rhode Island field offices or safe houses across Terra. Although you are not officially employees of Rhode Island, the mission network is open to you and you will be paid for contracts you complete. That's about it. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Just real quick, I have to ask, does Rhode Island have any sci-fi literature?
I'm sorry?
So these are our new identities.
At least I got a shield I can use. Could be worse. Do we have a plan? Try to take a look at this world, which we now know too little about. I'd like to have a detailed write-up myself. But this time, I'm sorry. It's all up to us. So, where's our first destination? Somewhere called Siesta. Sounds like a pretty good city.
Then let's get going. Until we make it back home, we're on the road. And that marks the end of the Operation Originium Dust side story in Arknights. Just to finish it off here properly, our final few chapters, or rather stages, and the cutscenes were called Stage 6, Battle of the Lord's Manor, Cutscene 2, A Funeral, Stage 7, Bunker Defense Line, Stage 8, Infiltration Battle, and our short outro cutscene, Tracking upon Terra. And that is how that story ends. Pretty much a story that will probably never ever have a continuation, and sadly, because Hypergriff would have to make a new contract with Ubisoft to utilize the characters in another side story, proper side story that is, well, their hands are bound basically. But they at least gave him a nice little goodbye, and from what I know, I can't remember in which places and stories, but there are like tiny little specks of rumors and details in some stories, or even I can't even remember, maybe in some operator records, it's been a while, where stuff like a mercenary squad gets mentioned that kind of fits the description of the Rainbow Six team, but that's about it. That's about it. Maybe if we take a deep collective breath of copium, we can get another story in the future, or something featuring them again. Would be nice, because my god, I might have never have played Rainbow Six Siege or known anything about these 4 characters from that franchise, but holy mother of fuck are these 4 cool motherfuckers. Especially Ash and Tachanka. Blitz is just a meme lord, and I guess Frost is cool, but she doesn't really get too much to do, sadly. But anyway, before we go into the usual talk about this story, significance, yada yada, first off, thank you very much for listening to this narration. It has been a blast to go through this old story, and I've forgotten quite a lot about this, honestly, because I've forgotten how impactful Miarov's death was. More on that in a bit. And also the fact that goddamn Stormeye appears in the story. I completely forgot that he shows up at the very end. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you've liked this narration, please consider leaving a like. It helps me a lot and means a lot to me. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. There's a lot more for you to listen to on this channel in this style and format. Been doing this for a while now. So take a peek. You might find something interesting. But yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, like I said at the beginning before we started this narration proper, this is definitely one of my more favorite side stories, smaller side stories, that has to do and almost nothing to do with certain other things, but my god, does it set, like, it sets ground rules or a perspective that you cannot just get from any other side story or main story, because everything else is pretty much being observed through either the Doctor's point of view, at least at the beginning of the story, where the Doctor is pretty much unknowing of his surroundings, or their surroundings rather, and they have to learn about what is happening, but they adjust very quickly because of, I guess you could call it, muscle memory and being used to stuff, and as we know, slowly stuff keeps coming back to them, even though they do not know from where and how they've learned about certain stuff, but it's a natural kind of thing. But yeah, slowly you lose that kind of like connection of, oh, this person doesn't know shit, to, oh shit, this person is actually a character in this story and not just the vehicle for us, the readers, to have a POV of the world. But here we get 4 people who are actually human beings like us, the readers, observing the world of Terra and telling us pretty much how stuff works there and how stuff is actually different compared to what we know and what we are used to. And that was probably the most fascinating thing about this story for me, outside of the fact that the narrative itself was pretty dope. The characters were amazingly written, in my opinion. Again, Frost is the only one who kinda doesn't shine enough, but the other 3, I mean, you've seen Ash here at the end, where she just unleashes all her goddamn frustration on the goddamn face of Drudge. Oh, that is such a good moment. Just pummels his face in until he's barely recognizable. Mwah. Thank you. And then Tachanka and Rangers. My god, that standoff with the 2 old guys against a horde of monsters. Oh, that has, I will not lie, that has some Warhammer 40k vibes. I will not lie. But damn, that moment where the 2 of them stay behind. Also, this story reminded me, like, out of, well, we still technically have 3 is it 3? Wait, yeah, it is 3. We still have 3 2-star members who haven't actually shown enough. You have to remember that the 2-star characters, well, yes, we can meme and laugh at them as much as we want from a stats perspective. The 2-star members are all pretty much veteran members. They're all experienced fighters and are all diesel, but obviously the newer generations have to shine, so they hold back. And we can see how diesel they are, because in the future we will be getting Yato and Noir alters, and we can see how goddamn diesel they actually can be when they don't hold themselves back. And this story actually reminded me now, because of the background story that is slowly sprinkled in between the narrative here about Rangers and his past, would be interesting. It brought one thing, and this is obviously based on newer stuff that was revealed in the past couple of months, or teased in the past couple of months. I want Rangers for an altar in the Destiny collab. I hope I'm not the only one who thought of that. he would fit very well, in my opinion. As someone who has played Destiny, I haven't played it in years at this point, but who has played both the first one and the second one a decent bit, bows are a thing in Destiny 2. I can't remember if Destiny 1, I don't think that was a thing in 1, but in 2 they are a thing. So why not? A Ranger's altar for the Destiny collab, please. Keep him. Now the question is, do you keep him as a ranged character, or do you swap him to something else? But maybe. If not a 6-star, at least make him a 5-star. At least give him the Noir Corn treatment of a 5-star. I would love it. Because I highly doubt that we in that collab are gonna get any actual Destiny characters, considering honestly the only character for Destiny that I would want to get in that collab, and I'm sorry if I'm trailing off, just want to say the only character I would love from Destiny 2 would be Zavala, but that is kind of impossible. That is sadly impossible, because you may or may not know it, the voice actor Lance Reddick recently passed away, that voiced Zavala, and was pretty much one of my favorite actors in recent years, actually. He always had a presence, and yeah. If Zavala would have been a candidate for a character, a recruitable character, I would have loved it, but that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Anyway, back to this story. Again, I had no idea going into the story how good it will be when it was originally announced. Originally, I pretty much already downgraded the story before even reading it because of my experience with other gacha games and how collabs are being handled and how they are just they're there to promote the other material. Not like here. Here the collabs are actually amazing. There is work put into writing a narrative that these characters are taking part in. I mean, for just an example, they didn't just isekai them into Terra and start from where they arrive and then bumble through the world. No, they flip them over to Terra and then skip 6 months. We see them 6 months later when they're already like figured shit out, and we get a narrative with them where they figured a decent portion of stuff out and are still figuring stuff out as they go. And we follow them around as they pretty much explain from our human perspective how certain stuff works. And there are so many fascinating details that were just sprinkled throughout this whole thing, from electronic devices in the world not needing any cords because you just have like a Originium battery pack on it, on the things. And I have no idea how that is handled, by the way. I am really like fascinated by the idea that you have just it's essentially you have a plutonium pack on in a goddamn toothbrush, probably. But fascinating. I wonder how long these crystals actually last in certain devices. How frequent do they have to be exchanged and stuff, if they even have to be exchanged. But yeah, you get so many descriptions of, hey, cars look pretty much normal, you could probably drive them if you know how to drive a car over here, but if you have to repair it, good luck. Same for any electronic device, and that is a fascinating idea to think. It reminds me of, it wasn't a full documentary that I watched years and years ago, but more like a thought experiment of how would certain things be today if product A would have been discovered way later, but product B would have been the one discovered before A, and how stuff would maybe be influenced down the line and evolve and stuff like that. An interesting thought process, and this is pretty much, I mean, the whole world of Terra is obviously influenced by Originium and stuff like that, so logically every single aspect of life, from just everyday utensils to electronics, is pretty much developed and utilized from that tech. Maybe from even something else, who the hell knows. But it's different. Once you open it up, it's so different that you're just confused and don't know what to do with it. Fascinating. Then the whole part about bullets and guns was also pretty much a... I don't think it was the first full confirmation outside maybe some files of operators, but I could be wrong. But this was like in story format, I think the first like full-on explanation of how guns and bullets in this world work. And that they're essentially casting wands. They are firing projectiles, but you need kind of you need to be adept in using Originium arts to actually fire them, which is kind of crazy to think about if you really think about it. That your regular machine gun, you have to technically manually arts fire every single bullet. Manually, if you think about it. You're pressing down a trigger, but you are essentially charging arts through that. Fascinating thought. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about that. That is how that shit works. But yeah, at the end of the day, the characters all are super cool. No, it's not. It's never gonna make me go and play Rainbow Six Siege. I am sorry. I am not a multiplayer gamer. Sadly, I get bored of those types of games very, very quickly. I've played my fair share of multiplayer-only games, and I usually last for... The longest I've lasted with any kind of multiplayer game was 2 months, and that was Apex Legends. Everything else lasted maybe 2 weeks. I just get bored. If I don't have a narrative that pushes me through a game, I just get bored. I'm just that type. If it isn't obvious through this channel already. But yeah. Ashe, super cool. Really, really liked her. Especially, like, she is meandering back and forth during the entire thing. Takes a while to show her, like, emotions. But yeah, at the end, pulverizing the face of Drudge. Beautiful. Tachanka is just a big dude. I mean, you've seen the picture with him standing next to Ashe. He's just a unit. This is a guy. This is a very tall person. Actually, I'm quite curious. Hold on. Let me go in. I'm quite curious. How tall is he? Is he taller than me? Is he taller than me? Oh shit, I'm taller than him. I am taller than the Russian. I am 188. Aha, I win. Alright. But jokes aside, oh, right, while I'm on this page, I want to just say that from what I've seen, Tachanka and Ashe, where are you, Ashe? You and your fancy cat cap. They have modules. Now, I have no idea what's in the modules, but considering that they have modules and now I did this story, I'll probably in the future do a module narration for them like I do for other operators, because I'm curious what's written in those. From what I've also seen on Wiki, I think Frost is also gonna get a module in the future. I don't think she has it yet. Yep, nope, she does not have her module yet. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna do the module narrations for at least those two. Maybe by then even Frost is gonna get added, but it's gonna be a while. I have to work for a lot of operator records. Holy shit. The operator records are sucking up all the materials that I have. But yeah. Cool units. Very good units as well. I think Ashe to this day is still a very, very diesel unit when it comes to snipers. Again, because of the channel focusing on other operators for mostly operator records, she's still on the back burner since way back then. But eventually we'll do something with her and promote her and get the stories out. But not now. For now, this will be it. I don't. Oh, right. Before I finish it, while it's still on my mind, because I usually always forget that one character, Miarov. Oh my god, I forgot how painful that whole moment is. but also how interesting that whole moment was, because again, outside of certain moments, that is the first time where you actually kinda get to see what happens to a body once a person who is infected dies and pretty much just poofs into a cloud of Originium. But yeah, man, again, similar to a recent other character in a recent other story, big MVP, big F, big salute. That little guy was definitely the MVP. My god. Anyway, before I go, considering that a certain very big game that I'm gonna sink my teeth into is gonna come out very soon, that being FF16. And speaking of, if you wanna follow along, I will be streaming that game over on Twitch from the 22nd of June, aka this month, in a couple of days rather, from when this video goes out. Pretty much almost every day, and I keep people updated of when I'm live on the Discord channel. So while we're speaking of it, socials in the description of the video if you want to join the Discord, link is there. If you want to join the Twitch for other games that I play, it's there. If you want to hit up my Twitter, sure. I've only recently started using it when the kerfuffle with the Reddit started happening, but if you wanna, I'm gonna be mostly just posting when a video goes up over there, so it's up to you. That one is up to you. I'm not a really big fan of Twitter, to be fair. Anyway, that is that. And yeah, because of 16 and me sinking my teeth into, I'm really in the mood, and especially because of this short story, to do other short stories. So if you guys who are listening to this have any kind of like, would I call it idea? No, any kind of like preference as to these side stories, these God, I'm forgetting the name. These short stories that I haven't covered yet on the channel. Pretty much these two are covered. These 3, 4, 5. These last 5 are covered, but anything before that, so Preluding Lights, Here Beyond, Reviving Breeze, PTSD Children of Ursus, Story of Afternoon, Ancient Forge. Ancient Forge might be something that I should actually cover at some point, because it kind of feeds into the whole Yan narrative as well. And obviously the very first one in here, Operation Intelligence. If you have any preferences to these, leave me a comment in the comment section below. If there are gonna be multiple different like requests, because I'm gonna start the week with doing smaller videos that I had plans already to do. Leave me a comment if you want any of these narrated. If there's gonna be multiple entries, I'm gonna put them up to a vote on the community section on YouTube. So we're gonna do whichever is gonna be voted then in that case. But if a vast majority of you just mentions the same mini story out of these, we're just gonna do that one. Then I'm not gonna put it on the vote. I'm just gonna post like this is gonna be the next thing. But yeah, anyway, this will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this side story as much as I did. And all I can say here is, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.